Have your friends ran you over with a billion beetles? Are they the type of people to still use fidget spinners? Because no offense, but I've seen enough live leak videos to understand Landfall at this point. What if we did the opposite? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kamigawa Landfill, a deck from which you will benefit from lands leaving the battlefield. And no, not destroying them, and not removing your friends' lands, where you're gonna keep your friends. Your own land. Filling your hands with lands, if you would. A landfill. Welcome to the Commander Vault. This is where I gift you some of the most creative decks creators have ever made from their private Commander collection. I'm gonna be kicking off this series by giving you one of mine. The Kamigawa Landfill has been described as the most interesting Asei deck ever made. The idea is I wanted to make the opposite of Landfall. So this entire deck has effects that put lands back in your hand, allowing you to re-ETB them, draw cards, and pull off the most stylish combos you've ever heard of. It uses mechanics I promise you have never used and or heard of. The most batch-insane game-ending combos, and it's one that plays different every time you play it. There's always a different angle, huge room for outplay potential, and I'm not just gonna give you the deck list. I'm not just going to tell you the cards that are in it. I'm going to make you a pilot. By the end of this video, you're going to be able to play it as well as if you were the one who built it. Not only that, I've made a $100 variation of it for you, and then I'm going to also give you the deck list on how to play my full version. So if you want to stunt on your friends and play the opposite of Landfall, you found your deck. I'm going to teach you 4 things: opening hands, what it does by turn 5, combos and secret tech, and how to wean. All right, y'all know the drill already. Let's get this started. No. There we go. So a quick deck overview. This deck leverages the power of Asei, allowing additional land drops and drawing you a card every time a land enters the battlefield. You use all those extra lands to activate Moonfolk and many other creatures that have activated abilities that need you to put lands back in your hand, allowing you to very easily re-ETB them. The idea here is you will control the game through a myriad of Moonfolk abilities, constantly draw through your deck, have lots of interaction in hand in form of instants, and then win the game with epic, crazy combos that have very convoluted lines, but are still easy to pull off. And when you want to go no brain mode, there are some Hail Mary cards that are the funniest thing to ever be printed in Magic the Gathering. There's a card in this deck so powerful, it says you can't play spells for the rest of the game. Now that you're interested, opening hands. You need at minimum 3 lands and 2 ramp spells. That means you can mulligan down to 5 in this deck safely. The idea is with at least these 2 things, get your commander out, start drawing through your deck, and find the gas. The 2 things that you want to find that are good add-ons but not necessary are a card that allows for extra land drops and a Moonfolk, so you can start putting lands back in your hand to re-ETB them. Once you have found this, you should be able to do this by turn 5. By turn 5, Asei should be out. You should have probably at least 1 extra land drop spell out, and you're churning through your deck. And all of your battlefield should be a myriad of Moonfolk. They have abilities such as counter a spell unless they pay 3, put creatures back in their hand, negative their attack power so you can't get hit, and a ton of other ways to either control the game, benefit you, put yourself ahead, draw cards, and you should be off to the races. And that's where you want to be by at least turn 5, if not sooner. This deck can play very fast. Then, once you've gotten to that place, you need to know the secret tech that allows you to do a lot of cool things. So the real tech comes into play when you have your Moonfolk out. The idea is that you're going to sit behind your wall of lands, always have mana up, and the ability to activate things, even if you flood out and only draw lands. One of my favorite things to do is get down something that reduces the cost of the ability of the Moonfolk, such as Biomancer's Familiar, Training Grounds, or Hearthstone. This allows you to activate things way easier. And then once you got a bunch of lands in your hand and your commander out, Summer Bloom now reads 2 mana, draw 3 cards, effectively. And then once you got this going, time to combo, baby. Uyo the Silent Prophet and Patron of the Moon are combo central. Patron of the Moon allows you to sacrifice one of your Moonfolk. Let's say that Moonfolk was 4 mana. The Moon now only costs 3 mana to cast because you sacked one for 4. You can then play him for 3 mana at instant speed. He says, pay 1 mana, put 2 land cards from your hand onto the battlefield, tapped. But that doesn't matter, we have Lotus Cobra out. That means he says, pay 1 mana, make 2 mana, and if your commander's out, draw 2 cards. This is the easiest way to churn through your deck, slam awesome creatures, gets tons of mana, so easy. And then we got a card like Early Harvest to untap all of them when you're ready to go. And then Uyo over here, once you have a ton of mana out, allows you to constantly be copying everyone's instant and sorceries or our own game-ending one. Introducing the way to win the game. There are 3 main cards, but the deck wins in a myriad of other ways, but these are just the 3 simplified ones. Endless Swarm, Eternal Dominion. These spells have epic. That means for the rest of the game, you can't cast spells, but you get a copy of it on every one of your upkeeps. And on top of that, Once you've casted these and you have all your Moonfolk out, you're basically still playing the game because you can keep activating your Moonfolk. And wouldn't you know it, you can copy these spells with Uyo Silent Prophet. And then once you've copied it, the epic ability also copies. That means if you copy it 5 times, you're gonna have 5 copies of Eternal Dominion every upkeep. I have played every spell in my opponent's libraries until they're only lands. That is a genuine win con, and it is hilarious. And then our backup to this is Natural Affinity. We animate all of our lands and swing out very easily. There's over 40 lands in this deck. It's gonna be very easy to do that. There's so many ways to draw through your deck. One of the other game-winning combos that gets you to what I just said is Haru and Kiri. Effectively what they read is that when you play one, you get to bounce the other, and when you do, draw a card. Once you've played Omniscience, you can do this infinitely, draw your deck, and then do any of the shenanigans I just mentioned to win the game. So that's a brief summary of how this deck works, but let's go into the deck and let me share more about it so that way you're really ready to play this. All right, creatures. Within the creatures list, there are 14 Moonfolk that have different abilities that allow you to put a land back in your hand at a cost and activate their ability. Some of my favorite, making people pay 3 mana for any spell or it's countered. That is very powerful. Uyo, like we just said, copying instant and sorceries. We've got ones that let you rummage. We've got ones that let you make little 1/1 guys for blockers at instant speed. Lots of cool stuff. And then we got some creatures that protect your other creatures. We have ones that draw you cards. And then because we draw so many cards, we put in Graceful Adept. And as you can see, this whole deck is flavored full out for Kamigawa. It is also a beautiful deck that is completely centered around this part of Magic. I also took art inspiration from any cards that look semi-Kamigawa, and I don't mean Neon Dynasty, original Kamigawa, and slotted them in as well. Specifically certain art treatments such as the Secret Lair for Lotus Cobra. God, it's gorgeous. And then we have ones that give us extra land drops. Wayward Swordtooth, it's not in the budget list, but if you have it, Azusa, Sakura Tribe Scout, and Walking Atlas. And of course, our commander. All right, sorceries. You know what most of these do. They're a bunch of ramp spells, but again, if you can wait to use them after your commander comes out, they end up being draw spells. Pretty good. And they fuel your, Moonfolk ability. And then of course we had our 2 big win cons that we talked about earlier. And then some art I just want you guys to see. Primal Growth. I feel like not a lot of people seen this card, or at least this art for it. It's so gorgeous. Instance. Within the instance, we have ways to destroy other people's stuff, such as artifacts and enchantments, because we're green, why don't we? We have some counter spells. One of my favorite ones that I feel like is undervalued completely is Wash Away. 1 blue mana, counter someone else's commander. It's cracked. Or someone starts doing some graveyard BS. No, get that out of here. 1 blue. We also have some fight spells, and then like a backup win con, Blue Sun Zenith. You draw your whole deck, you cast Blue Sun Zenith for infinite, it goes back into your library, play a land, draw it, target someone for infinite again, and you've made everyone lose their deck. And they've drawn out, so they've lost. Artifacts. My list actually originally didn't have any artifacts, but these are so cheap and so good I throw them in. Of course, Soul Ring, of course, Thought Vessel. We want that no maximum hand size. And then Heartstone, just because, hey, lowering activated abilities and it's cheap. Enchantments. Of course, I had to put in the good old Omnussy. We make so much mana and so many of the combos are so easy to use as long as you have the no casting costs. So much fun. Training Grounds, of course, is a cost reducer. Kalini Heart Expedition is cracked. One of my favorite plays. Play this and then play 3 lands by either having 2 extra land drop abilities or like Summer Bloom in hand. It immediately gets through quest counters. You get to sack it and then go get 2 more lands. I've put down like 12 lands in 1 turn with this before. It's insane. And then we got extra land drops like Rites of Flourishing and Azusa's Many Jerseys. Azusa's Many Jerseys. Jesus, Jay. Okay, now you've seen through the list. There are so many things you want in this that are not in the $100 list that are so cracked, so good. I highly suggest either proxying them, or if you are bringing this to a Wizard Sanctioned event, save up for these, trade for these. They are the best things to add in. You're gonna want Burgeoning, Exploration, Azusa, and anything else that gives you an extra land drop. Everything that you would like to upgrade in this is in the considering section on the Moxfield list. One of my favorite inclusions is actually the first commander deck I ever built. Hailing from the original Theros block, Krufix. What this does is at the end of your turn, you can tap all of your lands, dump all of your mana into him, and then you have an infinite colorless pool that you can work with. You can continually add mana to this and have this pool of colorless mana that never gets lost. And then of course, all of the abilities of any of our Moonfolk are generic mana, so you can continually use it. Love this guy. So when you go out and play this deck now, you get to tell people you're playing reverse Landfall. You're gonna get to sit there and watch them be confused while you constantly put lands back in your hand and do crazy shenanigans all mid-game, keep the game alive, keep it fun, interact. You're not some dumb, boring, typal, gimmick, joke deck at the table. It does so much and it interacts so much. It has so many combos. It's gonna be fun for the table, not for you. Well, it'll be fun for you too, but you get my point. This is a deck you can invest in, care about, change, upgrade, and it's one that I'm really excited to gift to you guys because it was a labor of love, and if you ever see me at a convention, come find me. The deck is completely foiled out. It has a ton of altars, a ton of artist proofs in it, and it is one of the best things I've ever built. This has been the first deck of the Vault of Champions series. This has been the first deck of the Commander Vault series. What I would like to do is continually have all of my other friends that are content creators come on and share their best decks so you can see them too. Because I've played against their decks and they have some insane decks, and there's some of these I can't wait to show you guys, and I can't wait to have them on the show. So if you guys like this, please comment someone you would like to see their deck from in the comment section. Let me know who they are. I'll go bug them. I probably know most other creators as I do production for a lot of other creators, and I'm very excited for you guys to come back to see the next episode. Thanks for watching.